Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another speed build for you guys featuring this beautiful shell made by Sasha K907, and this is just one of many shells she has posted in her catalog, but I will leave all of the info on this particular shell in the description below. So I'm part of this Facebook group called Sims Grown, and the other day Sasha made this post reaching out to small creators, challenging us to use one of her shells for a build video, and I instantly knew I wanted to give it a try. So Sasha, thank you so much for making this beautiful shell and for challenging us to do this. Now, I've done a few shell challenges in the past where I've just started off with a weird looking box with like no roof, no furniture whatsoever, but Sasha has actually given us a great base to go off of here. She's used base game furniture in the kitchen and bathrooms, as well as giving us a roof and nice black windows from the Seasons pack. And if you don't know what a shell challenge build is, the rules are very simple. You just make a complete build using an empty shell without moving or touching any of the existing walls. And in this instance, I also didn't move or change any of the existing furniture just to add a little bit more of a challenge to it. So let's go ahead and jump right into the speed build. As you saw in the screenshot, Sasha's already given us a great floor plan to go off of, so I really didn't want to add any extra levels or rooms to this house. I really just kept the whole build basically exactly the way it was. The only thing I did change was the roof that was going over the back deck. I just brought it over a little bit just so it was blending into the rest of the roof a little bit more. And I also do end up adding a few accent windows to the roof as well. But other than that, didn't really change anything to the exterior of the house. I did use the wood paneling from the Spa Day pack, as well as the Seasons foundation. I think the black and white color scheme just gives it such a nice, clean, sleek, modern look. I guess you could call this a modern farmhouse if you wanted to. I've seen a few houses that look similar to this on Pinterest, and I think that's what they were called, so let's just go with that. For the patio, I ended up using the flooring from the Vampire pack, which is actually a flooring I use quite often considering it's more of like a creepy pack. It is a really nice flooring. I use a lot of furniture from Perfect Patio, as well as that hot tub. It's also from the Perfect Patio pack. And the rugs that I've paired with the patio are actually from Get Famous. And I think they're called like cargo rugs or something. They're not actually for like a patio, I don't think. But I think we'll just pretend that they're like a non-slip rug or something like that. And I also just wanted to make sure that your Sims had lots of activities to do outside. They have a chess table. I end up moving the garden to the side of the house. They have a barbecue out here with a nice picnic table. They have the nice seating area. I end up putting a bar out here from the Get Together pack. There's lots of things for your Sims to do outside because I don't actually end up putting a TV in the living room in this build. So I just wanted to make sure that your Sims had lots of activities to do. So now we're going to move on to the interior of the house. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. I pictured 2 parents with 2 teenagers living here, and I'm just working on the kitchen right now. I've just thrown in a couple lights from Tiny Living, and I was debating on putting a coffee maker in this kitchen, but I did decide against it in the end. I don't know. I kind of find coffee makers kind of annoying to use in The Sims. I kind of find they're just more trouble than they're worth in the end. So I decided to get rid of it. And those succulents from the University pack, I think I used them not only in all of my builds, but probably in every room in all of my builds. Close to it. Maybe not all of them, but pretty close. I just think they're such a good item. I think they're one of my favorite items that we get in the game. I'm also just throwing in lots of clutter from Cool Kitchen, like the dish rack and the wood block there, as well as the salt and pepper shaker. And I believe those spice jars are from Dine Out. I could be wrong. I think they're from Dine Out though. And I also love the clutter we got with Snowy Escape, the dishes and the tea tins on the shelf I just put up there. And I'm also just throwing in some bar stools from University. And since 4 Sims are living here, I think it's great that everyone has a seat that they can sit at the island, and they also have an extra chair for a guest. So There you go. I'm also just making a little bit of an entryway here. I'm putting in that coat rack, I guess you could call it, from Seasons, as well as just a regular coat rack we get with the base game. I'm just putting in the console table from Jungle Adventure, the mirror from Seasons, and I was really happy to use that zebra rug from City Living. I've never used that item before, but since this was more of a modern build, I thought this would be a fun opportunity to use it, so I just thought that was kind of fun. And I'm just working on the dining space here. I know it's kind of far away from the kitchen, but since this is The Sims, I figured it didn't really matter because hopefully they'll just sit at the island anyways and they'll just use this dining table for special occasions. And the table and chairs are actually from the base game, I believe. And the light fixture, that geometric looking shape, is from the fitness pack. And I just thought it was a nice accent to this room. I was trying to mix like old with new. If you ever watch like HGTV, they talk a lot about like having black and white with like nice dark wood tones, and it's all about like bringing old and new together, and that's what I was really trying to do here. So I throw in this desk from the base game to make this little office area over here. And like I said, they don't have a TV in the living room here, so I just wanted them to have a little space where they could go on the internet and maybe play some video games in this corner over here. I've put in the bookshelf from Realm of Magic, and I also made sure that I put a garbage in the kitchen. Even though it's a little bit in the office over here, I still think it works because I feel like most people have a little wastebasket in their office. I know I do. It's just kind of stuffed under my desk though. It's not really out in the open, but since I couldn't really fit a garbage in the kitchen, I just threw it over there. This was also the first time I used that couch from Vintage Glamour, so that was also kind of exciting. Anyways, we're moving on to the bathroom now, and this is the main bathroom of the house that everybody can use. There's 2 bathrooms in this house. One of them is attached to the master bedroom, so this is the bathroom that the teenagers are going to be using. So I was really happy to use those jars from Cats and Dogs, and it says that they're for like cotton swabs and stuff like that, so that's what I picture like the teenage girl using to like take off her makeup at the end of the day, like just go into that bathroom and do that in there. And then I used this tiny space over here just as a little laundry room, and I actually hate using laundry in my game. It's never really works for me for some reason. Like I always have some kind of issue with the washer or dryer. Like I just don't have the option to like wash my clothes even though it says that they're like really dirty or something, and it's just really frustrating. But I honestly didn't really know what else to use this room for, so I just threw a washer and dryer in there, and I used the Jungle Adventure shelves just to stack a bunch of towels, and some of them might be floating, I'm not really sure. I struggled with it a little bit, but I think I did a decent job of getting them all to stay on there. I used that basket from Jungle Adventure. I think it's from Jungle Adventure. I could be wrong, but I know it's kind of like sunken into the shelf a little bit, but that's okay. You're not really going to use that shelf for anything anyways. So now we're going to move on to the master bedroom, and I didn't really have a plan going into this room. Like I didn't really have an idea of who these Sims were who were going to be staying in here. So I just kind of followed the generic color scheme of the house, just followed that black and white, very boring, very, very easy. Let's just say that. I've used the bed from Cats and Dogs, paired it with the base game rug, which I love, and used the end tables from Get Together, the ottoman from Laundry Day, some lights from the Bowling Day pack, and these Sims have a really nice big walk-in closet. So I've used the coat rack from the Moschino pack, and I'm also just using these base game shelves just so I can clutter up the closet a little bit. Just throw some shirts up there, throw some shoes up there. I picture these Sims, maybe they'll spend a lot of money on clothes, and that's why they need a closet this big, just so they can put all their clothes in here. I've also just tried to clutter it up a little bit with some extra boxes and some extra papers and books and documents, like just things that you shove in the back of your closet and kind of forget about. That's kind of what I was aiming for here. So if I hope it comes across. Just a lot of miscellaneous items. Like I have a bowling pin in there for some reason. Like I said, I don't know who these Sims are. I've also used the base game mirror with those light strips from the Spa Day pack just to kind of give the mirror like a ring light effect. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I'm using that little accent table from bowling night and using it as kind of like a little stool for a plant. And that's usually what I use those tables for. And I'm also just using a little accent table from Tiny Living just for a stereo. So your Sims have something else to do in this room. They could dance or just wind down, just, get their emotions out. And that stereo is from the City Living pack. And I also used the City Living pack to put some art on the walls in this bedroom as well, which I think I'm just about to do here. Yep, there we go. And I'm just adding some bookshelves here. I just thought it looked a little bare. I think this room still looks a little bare by the end, but I also wanted it to kind of have that minimal look. Like they just shove everything in the closet and try and make the bedroom look as clean as possible. So I just make sure that I give them a little bit of extra storage and a hamper so they can use their washer and dryer, hopefully if it works. And just throwing a little bit more decoration above the closet as well. And moving into the ensuite, I used the wall tile from Spa Day. I also throw in an extra sink since we had the counter space there, just for his and her sinks. And I used the rug that you can make in Eco Lifestyle. So the first bedroom I start working on is for their son, and I used that base game rug again, and I used the curtains from City Living, and I also pair it with the bed from Eco Lifestyle. My goal for this room was to make it masculine and modern, so I made a bold decision and decided to paint the walls black, which is not something I think I would do in real life, but I think it works with this room really well. And I picture this Sim maybe being a young adult, but he still lives at home. And I picture him being a photographer as well. So I do end up putting a few cameras and camera lenses from the Moschino pack in this build as well. I used the dresser from University here and the succulents, of course. Coming back with those succulents from University because I love them so much. And again, I love decorating these closets. It's something that I don't usually put in my builds, but it's something that I was really excited to try out in this build. So I wanted to make sure that the son had his own workspace in his room so he could edit his pictures or go, on the internet and see what's up, try and like get some fame up, you know what I'm saying? Added some books on his desk, and I also give him a bookshelf on the wall just so he has a bit of extra storage for his cameras and his lenses. And I also threw some postcards on his little corkboard that he has, and I also put some art up on the walls from City Living and Fitness as well. And of course, just making sure that he also has a laundry hamper so that he can use the washer and dryer, hopefully. And I'm just going to move right along to the bedroom that belongs to the daughter now. And this is a very Pinterest-esque room. It's very bright. I use lots of pinks and teals in this room. And I picture this Sim being really crafty, so she has like some craft books kind of cluttered on her desk. And I also give her a basket full of yarn so she can pick that up and start knitting. She has lots of hanging lights with pictures of her and her friends. She has a guitar with some nice cushions at the end of her bed. Like, it's just a very cozy, bright feel for a young girl, and it's very feminine and girly. I guess it's the same thing. I don't know why I said that, but I really love this room. I think this might be my favorite room in the house. It's super cute, and I think that any teenage girl would be so happy to stay in this room. And her dresser here, I use lots of clutter from Parenthood. She has a little makeup station. She has her hair dryer with all of her hair stuff there, so she can get ready. I've used those nice faux fur rugs from the Snowy Escape pack in a nice pink swatch, and I love it so much. It adds just such a nice texture to the room, and I've used lots of items from Nifty Knitting and Tiny Living in this bedroom in general. But yeah, I really love that room. Anyways, we're going to move into the hallway now. I just gave them a little bit of extra storage in that tiny little closet we have there. And I've also just added a console table from Cats and Dogs with a little bit of clutter on top of it, but not too much, just because I want it to still have that minimal look in the nice open space. And we're just going to move ahead into the garage now. And I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do with this space. I put a woodworking table in there, like maybe one of the parents could be into woodworking. I also threw a ping pong table in there from the university pack, as well as a dartboard from Get Together. I used those utility shelves from Strangerville because I feel like every garage has like those utility shelves in there somewhere. I also just filled this corner with lots of clutter, lots of cardboard boxes from Eco Lifestyle. I think the toy chest is from Parenthood. Like maybe since the kids have grown up, like they just threw all the toys in the garage. I also gave them a punching bag so your Sims can get their fitness skill up there. Threw some miscellaneous wall decorations. But I didn't really know what I was doing. I feel like garages are just kind of like a storage space for stuff that you don't really want to look at or you just don't really use anymore. So I just I was just trying to fill the garage up with items like that. I also throw in like an older couch that maybe they just aren't using, like it's just really old, and maybe it was in their old living room in an old house they lived in. That's kind of what I pictured there. And I'm just throwing some lights on the outside of the house, just doing some finishing touches. And I do throw a pond on the outside of the house as well. And we are just about to wrap up here, guys, with a few before and after shots. I just wanted to take a sec to thank everyone who has subscribed, liked, and commented on my videos. It really means a lot. I know this is still a new channel, but I'm hoping to keep up with it. I want to post videos every week, so I'm trying to hold myself to that. And again, Sasha, thank you so much for making this shell, for making this challenge. And Sasha also has her own page, which you can follow, called Sasha's Shells. I will put all the info in the description below. So thank you, Sasha, again. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!